everyone! Welcome or maybe welcome back to my YouTube channel. I had already filmed one video, but it was a little awkward. I'm not sure if I'm going to post it or not, but I'm really trying to make an effort to do well on YouTube and making YouTube videos consistently maybe. Also, I just realized I was talking really fast, so I'm going to try to slow it down a little bit. But bear with me because these are my first few videos. I'm not really sure what to do or what works best yet. So I am trying to learn and figure it out. Let me see. This is my lighting. I look white. Hold on. I don't know if I'll even leave this in or edit it out. I'm not very good at editing. I learned that. It looks choppy when I edit. I hate that people can see my bed, but I do look better like this. So anyways, I was going to start this first video, or second, I don't know, this video, okay? I was going to start it with some structure. So I wanted to talk about being a computer science major, or any major for that matter. This is mostly addressed at like people who are either in high school or looking to transfer, someone looking for more information about majors, colleges, how to transfer, the whole thing. So I'm a computer science major. I'm a sophomore in college. It's also my second year, so I'm like right on track. I applied for I think 7 schools, maybe 8. But I think it was 7. I'd have to really think about it, and that's going to take too long, especially considering I'm really bad at this editing thing. Anyway, so like, I'm just going to count it. Okay, 7. Sorry, that took so long. So I applied to 7 schools, 2 state schools. I live in California, so 2 Cal States, 2 UCs, 2 private schools, and Caltech. I did not get into Caltech. It was my dream school. No hard feelings, but well, not anymore. Obviously, it's like a really hard school to get into, and I'm not like upset that I didn't get in because I did try my best, and I knew that I didn't have like a perfect GPA or perfect SAT scores. I did have a good list of extracurriculars, and my SAT score was great, but it just wasn't perfect. And I mean, I don't know what Caltech was looking for, but I assume it was perfect SAT score, or pretty close to it. So anyways, forgetting Caltech, I was going to tell you that if you're looking for schools to apply to, or even for like, your major, I don't know, if you're a computer science major, great, this will probably relate more to you, but whatever major you are, especially anything in STEM, because that's like my forte, when you go to apply for schools, you have to pick what schools, like you have to know what schools you want to apply to by November, and that's so stressful. So like, my recommendation to you would be find schools that you think would be good. Maybe if you want a local school or a school that's like far away, out of state, somewhere you can live on campus, you need to look into that. Look into how big the schools are. Look into class sizes of the school. So like, for example, my school is a Cal State. It's very big. It has over 30,000 students. I'm not sure the exact number, but I have never had one class in a lecture hall. Like all of the classes have been less than 40 people, I believe. I mean, some are really small and some are a lot bigger. Like I had a class that only had, I think, 11 people. And then I've had another class that had like 40. But that was my Psychology 101 class, which at most universities, you would expect that class to be extremely popular and most likely in a lecture hall, even if there's a smaller school. So like, for example, I have a friend that goes to a private school. It only has about 12,000 people, and she has like every class in a lecture hall. So instead of looking at how big the school is, I would look at how big the classes are and then find what works good for you. I think that for me, smaller classes mean that the professor knows your name, the professor knows who you are, and you can actually like make friends in your class. Like you have a good chance of doing that. So I think that you need to look and see what you think would work best for you. And also keep in mind that you're coming from high school where your classes were probably pretty small. Or maybe you're transferring from a junior college. I don't know what your class sizes are like there. But you need to find what works best for you, or at least think about it. Also, quarter system or semester system, that's another thing that's like a big thing. Like, so for the example, sorry, I have to scratch my eye. Talked about that last time. For the quarter system, you usually have like 3 quarters in one semester. And then in the semester system, obviously you only have 2. So if you're like college's standard in my opinion would be 120 units to get your bachelor's degree. And then at a junior college, it'd be 60 units to get your bachelor's. If that's standard, you need to take 30 units a year to graduate in the 4 years. So that would mean that if you're on semesters, you have to take 15 units a semester. And if you're on quarters, you only have to take 10 units a quarter. The quarters are more condensed, but they're faster. So you take less classes, but they're at a lot faster pace. I don't know for every school how every school system works, but for example, the schools that I was looking at, the quarter system was 10 weeks, whereas the semester was 17 weeks. So it was quite a difference. I think they get longer summers, but not quite as long of breaks in the middle. I'm not sure. It depends on the school again. Anyways, you just need 30 units a year to graduate in 4 years if that's your goal. If it's going to take you longer, if it's going to take you less time, great. But that's like the thing you need to look at. And then also you want to make sure that you apply to like, sorry, I just got a text from someone I was nervous about. Anyways, side note, that was a tangent. I forgot what I was saying because I got distracted, and this is why I was trying not to deal with that. So back to the point of the video, now that I'm all nervous and anxious. The point that I was saying was, if you need to pick what you like best, and you also need to be aware of like where you're applying, because I had a lot of people that I knew that had applied to all their schools out of state. They were like, I'm going, I want to go, I want to have freedom, bye. Okay, so now all they have is out of state options, and then they were like kind of bummed that they didn't get to stay local, and they had realized that they had actually wanted to do that, but by that point it was like a little late. I mean, they could still go to junior college, they could do other things, like there were other options, but the schools that they had applied to were all out of state, so they didn't have like a school that they actually wanted to go to anymore because they had aimed so far away. And then I know people that had only applied to local places. I was one of those people. I only applied local because I knew that I was going to live at home to save money. That was the goal. I don't want to have like excessive amounts of student debt when I graduate, even though I think that I'll be able to pay it doing computer science. Like I won't be struggling to find a job, hopefully. That's the hope. But I think that I have a good chance of job security, whereas other majors may have a harder time finding a job or have a harder time paying off student loans, depending on if you want to go further. Like let's say you want to be a doctor, then you're going to have a lot of student loans if you end up at like a very expensive school. So you need to keep that in mind. Also, going out of state involves out of state tuition fees. It involves your housing, obviously. Even if you do that in state, the tuition's usually still cheaper. There are programs that you can look at where some of them, like, I forgot what it's called. I didn't apply. But basically it was like at certain schools, and sometimes even within the certain schools, it was only certain majors, they got in-state tuition fees because it was like a transfer program thing. So it really just depends on the school, and you have to keep that in mind. Like that's something to think about when you're applying. The thing that I really wanted to talk about though is computer science. So it's a pretty impacted major, and I know I had no idea what that meant until I got a bunch of college rejections, okay? So I'm here to spread the news. But an impacted major is basically like they have a very limited number of spots because they have a very limited amount of resources for that specific major. So for example, for computer science, like at my current school, we have lab rooms, so they're like designated rooms, so there's only so many computers in the whole building, right? So like they can't accept 1,000 students because there's no way they have the teaching staff to accommodate that. They don't have the resources to accommodate that. So their class that they're letting in every year is super tiny. So for example, my freshman class, they only let in 250 people. So like 250 freshmen came in as computer science majors, and that was it. Like, you were in the program, you were in, okay? That's not counting transfer students. That's not counting people that start undeclared and then decide to come in. When they start fresh with a new class of freshmen, we only had 250 people, that was all. Hi, I'm actually editing this video right now, and I just looked up like the actual number online, and it said that there were about like roughly 800 freshmen when I was a first-time freshman, but that includes people that like, let's say they didn't make all the units to move to a sophomore. So like, even if they were at 29 units, they can't be a sophomore. So that included them, plus also like anyone that had maybe not started as a computer science major. So I don't know the exact number of people that they had let in, but I had heard from other students that it had only been 250 people, and that was it. So that was the number that I said, but I'm not actually positive if that's how many. But the overall number of freshmen when I was a first-time freshman was about 800 people, and that was the number of people that enrolled. So that number compared to the amount of people that were actually that applied was very different. So I had learned that my major was in fact impacted for every school that I applied to pretty much. So I didn't get into like all the schools that I wanted to, or if I didn't get in, then I got in like as my alternate major, which some schools do allow you to do. So I applied to 7 schools and I got into 3 of them, which is still a good number. Some people get into all their schools, some people get into 1, some people don't get into any. So like, I was really happy with 3. I felt like I had a good amount of choices. Now, speaking of 3, one of the schools I applied to did not have computer science as a major, and I knew that going in, okay? So I knew that if I had applied there, they didn't have computer science, I had to do my alternate, which was chemical engineering. Then the other school I had applied to, I said 3. I got into 4, but only 3 for like my major. Anyways, so the one school didn't have computer science, they had chemical engineering, or they had like a build your own major thing where you could pick your classes for your course load. But I felt like it wasn't what I wanted to do, because I knew that if the school didn't have the major, they wouldn't have the resources to like properly prepare me for what I needed, if that makes sense. Then the second school, I got into their computer science. They were fabulous. They were wonderful. It was just too expensive for me. The third school, the one I'm at, it's a state school. It was great, okay? The price was good. The class size was good. The location was good. Everything. It just fell into place, okay? And then the last school that I had gotten into had actually been like what I called my realistic dream school. So Caltech was like my dream, okay? But like, I knew that wasn't going to happen. I just applied, rolled the dice in the hopes that it might happen, okay? But this other school was like my dream school. I applied, I didn't get in, okay? Not as a computer science major. I got in undeclared, and I was kind of crushed, okay? Like crushed, because I thought that this was a safety school, because I had been told that this was a safety school based on like my GPA, my SATs, my extracurriculars. Like, this was a safety school, okay? Like, I was supposed to get in. I was guaranteed admission according to my counselors at school, okay? So like, I really thought that I had it. Like, my dream school, I was in, okay? But I wasn't, because computer science was impacted and I didn't know that. So I found out that they only had like a super, super limited number of spots. And I had gotten in to my current school first. Like, I applied, and I think it was like 3 or 4 days later, I heard back and got a yes, which is so fast, okay? Like, you don't, like, ridiculously fast. They're like, yes, please come here. And I was like, okay, like, whatever. I kind of blew it off. And then I missed the emails to apply for the honors college. Did not apply, did not get in, because I didn't apply. And I kind of wish that I had, but I was like, I'm not going there. I applied there for fun. Like, that was my mindset. Like, it was just like a really big just in case I wanted another option thing, okay? Because my dream school, I was destined to get in. That's what I had been told. But then I didn't get into my dream school because the major was impacted. And it is actually impacted at both schools, the school that I wanted to go to and this school. So the current school I'm at. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to that school, my dream. I'm going to go in undeclared. I think my family might be home. This is my iconic move. Is my family home? Let me check. Because that's embarrassing. Oh, everyone just saw my pajama shorts. This is what they look like. Okay. Cool. I have a real shirt on with pajama shorts. Because that's online school for you. Anyway, so the school that I wanted to get into, I got it undeclared, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go there. It will open up opportunities for me. If I go in undeclared, I'll have options. I'll be able to explore, like, different majors, see what I like, what I don't like, because I still was kind of on the fence at this point about whether or not I wanted to do chemical engineering or computer science. I was just a little unsure. I'm not unsure anymore. But the point was that I was like, let's go there undeclared. Fine. I put an enrollment deposit down like a few days before. You know, you have to, well, I don't know if you know, but you have to put like a deposit down saying, yes, I want to go here. And I knew a lot of, I think this is another one of my, wouldn't be a YouTube video without me dropping my phone, or checking if my family's home. Anyways, let me focus in. So, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. So I had put down my enrollment deposit, and I knew people had put down enrollment deposits at multiple schools, and I was like, that is such a waste of money. Like, these things are expensive. Usually they're like $250, at least for the school that I had done it for. The dream school, I put down a $250 deposit saying, hold my spot, I'm going there, okay? And this is before you pay tuition. And so then, like, May 1st comes around, and May 1st is the application deadline to, like, put your enrollment deposit down. And I was like, I don't want to go there anymore. On May 1st, the day you had to put the enrollment deposit down, like, your deadline. So then I decided that, you know what, I'm going to put an enrollment deposit down at this other school. I got in here. Their program's even better, even though I thought that it, like, wasn't better. But now looking back, I'm like, oh, yeah, it was much better. But the thing was that I had gotten into computer science at this first school, and, like, I knew that they wanted me there, whereas the other school, I was like, you know, they don't really want me that bad. And it's honestly not about, like, whether they like you or not. It's not even really about, like, how good you are. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Basically, don't take it personally, your acceptances or your rejections. Like, it's not about you, okay? Like, it's about everyone else compared to you. Which sounds harsh, but it's true. Like, I know people are crushed because colleges didn't accept them, and they, like, are completely, like, ruined because this college didn't accept them. But you need to know that, like, college acceptance is not the end of the world, okay? And, like, you will end up where you're meant to be, which is exactly what happened to me. So I had said, like, you know what? Like, they accepted me the first time I got in. I don't want to go somewhere where I'm going to be undeclared. They don't want me there. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Like, I don't want to be in limbo. Like, I wanted to pick a major and start there, and then if I didn't like it, switch. Oh, I just broke something. Oops. That's such a side note. So anyways, I didn't want to have to switch. I wanted to go in and start from where I was and work my way up, okay? So I decided that I was going to go to this school, and now I'm, like, so glad that I did. Like, it's basically the dream. Like, I think that I would have been miserable at the other school. And I know that that happens to a lot of people. They pick a school and then they're miserable. And the first thing you have to remember is make your choice wisely. I say that even though I didn't make a total impulse decision to go to this college instead of the other one, okay? Like, I put 2 enrollment deposits down that are non-refundable because I thought that I wanted to go to a different school than the one I actually ended up at. And I am so glad that I had changed my mind and put an enrollment deposit down at the other school. Like, yeah, I lost money, okay, but overall, I actually gained money because the school that I'm at, the tuition is way less than the other school, okay? So I saved money in the long run. You just gotta remember that. But anyway, so like, I was just gonna say that I'm so happy that I ended up where I did. And if you don't have that same situation, that's okay. Like, you can always switch your schools. You can always switch your major. I know that it's like hard to do if you don't have people that are supporting you or aren't super supportive, or they're like, you're going to this school, you're doing this, you know, doctor, lawyer, or disgrace. If you've heard that phrase, I think it's really funny. But I mean, some parents are like that. It's like, well, the phrase is actually, you can be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. But I heard this girl one time say that in her family, the phrase was, you can be a doctor, a lawyer, or a disgrace. And I thought that that was so funny that now I've changed the phrase in my head to that. Even though technically I'm kind of in the engineering section, my major's computer science, but it's basically the same thing as software engineering. So technically I'm an engineer, guys. Or a scientist, whatever you want to think of it as. But anyways, I was just going to say that you need to do what you want, and I know that that's like hard to do, or you don't know, or you're unsure of yourself. Like, I was definitely unsure of my skills when I first started, but now I'm like becoming more and more confident, more and more comfortable, and I'm realizing, okay, yeah, this is like what I really want to do. This video is getting very long, okay? Like, I've just babbled on about colleges and acceptances and rejections, and like, it's okay if you get rejected, it's okay if you switch, it's okay if you change your major, but I need to stop babbling. So anyways, I was just, I don't really know what to talk about, but I really do need to do my homework now, and I've been talking for like, 20 minutes and 59 seconds, so I really need to go. But that's all I have so far about like applying to colleges. If you have any questions and you actually want me to answer them from a person that's applied to colleges and has a lot of friends that applied to colleges, yeah, you can let me know in the comments if you have any questions and I'll respond to them. So good luck. Bye. I can't stop the video because my finger's too chunky, so I'm pressing the button and I keep missing. Bye.